Speculation grows over a military provocation by North Korea as the country marks a key anniversary today. Container ship workers begin a walkout, joining the railway labor union and prompting concerns of massive distribution disruption. The United States gears up for its second presidential debate as Donald Trump's tape saga rumbles on. These and more coming right up.
Hello, it's Monday, October 10th here in Seoul. Welcome to our newscast. I'm Hwang Ji-hye. There's a growing concern North Korea is gearing up for another large-scale provocation to mark the anniversary of the founding of its Workers' Party. New analysis shows increased activity at its satellite launch sites. South Korea is closely monitoring the situation for more signs of a long-range missile test or even another nuclear test. Devin Whiting starts us off.
Analysts have spotted suspicious movements at North Korea's Sohae satellite launching station on its west coast. According to U.S.-based North Korea monitoring group 38 North, satellite images taken on October 1st show activity at the launch pad and rocket engine test area, with vehicles moving near the fuel and oxidizer buildings. Due to covers put over key structures, however, the report says it's hard to tell whether a test is imminent. In recent days, activity has been detected at other sites in the north, too. The Dongchangni rocket launch site in the country's northwest, as well as possible preparations for another nuclear test at the Punggye-ri test site. The presidential office of Cheongwade has called it an emergency situation and sees North Korea's nuclear threat as the biggest national challenge, according to an official at the nation's top office. The official told Seoul-based Yonhap news agency Sunday that a provocation by North Korea could come at any time. President Park Geun-hye, the official said, has been watching for any signs at the North's nuclear and missile sites over the weekend and is being briefed on the international community's reactions to North Korea-related issues. Concerns have grown, especially amid a rise in the frequency and intensity of the North's provocations. 10 years ago, on October 9th, North Korea conducted its first nuclear test, which was widely seen as a failure. Its most recent and successful fourth and fifth nuclear tests this year showed Pyongyang's nuclear capabilities have grown significantly. Devin Whiting, Arirang News.
While stronger sanctions on North Korea are under discussion at the UN headquarters in New York, the U.S. ambassador to the UN is currently on a rare visit to South Korea. For more on Samantha Power's own message regarding Pyongyang's continual threats, Kwon-soa reports.
Meeting with reporters Sunday, the U.S. ambassador to the UN, Samantha Power, said Washington is willing to use all possible means to put pressure on North Korea. The comments came during her 4-day trip to South Korea, a rare occasion for a serving American UN envoy. The visit itself is expected to send a strong message to the North Korean regime and its continuous provocations in the form of nuclear and missile tests.
While Security Council resolutions are one tool in our toolbox and a very important instrument of pressure, we are committed to using all the tools in our toolkit to address this serious threat, including the diplomatic pressure that we are mobilizing around the world to convince other nations to isolate the regime.
Power said she wanted to directly consult with Washington's allies and vowed that the U.S. is determined to stand by South Korea's side in addressing the serious threat. Before arriving in South Korea Saturday, she also made a trip to Japan. Earlier on Sunday, the ambassador visited the truce village of Panmunjom on the inter-Korean border, as well as the Hanawan Settlement Support Center for North Korean refugees. She also held talks with South Korea's Prime Minister Hwang Kyo-an. Hwang delivered a message to Power from President Park Geun-hye asking for continuous efforts on the UN level to deal with the regime's threats. Power is expected to hold further meetings on Monday with high-ranking officials such as South Korea's Foreign Minister Yoon Byung-se and Unification Minister Hong Yong-pyo before departing for the U.S. on Tuesday. Sohae, Arirang News.
The United States has deployed one of its nuclear-powered aircraft carriers to South Korea for a joint naval drill, which is set to begin on Monday. A U.S. military official says the USS Ronald Reagan will participate in the six-day Invincible Spirit drill. The Allies plan to mobilize dozens of warships and submarines for the drill in a show of force against North Korea's nuclear and missile provocations. The U.S. is set to continue sending major strategic weapons to South Korea to heighten military pressure on Pyongyang. The South Korean government has lodged an official complaint against China's consul general in Seoul after an illegal Chinese fishing boat crashed into a Korean Coast Guard vessel, causing it to sink. The foreign ministry said Sunday that it urged China to show strong efforts to prevent any similar incidents from now on. China expressed regret and pledged to strengthen control on its fishing boats. The Korean Coast Guard is also demanding Chinese authorities arrest the crew from the Chinese boat that fled back into China's waters. The violent clash occurred on Friday in waters 76 kilometers southwest of Incheon's Socheongdo Island. The Korean Coast Guard vessel was rear-ended by the Chinese boat as it approached another Chinese vessel illegally fishing in the area. There were no injuries or casualties. Korea's top central banker has expressed confidence in the nation's fiscal soundness, but highlighted the need for a careful approach in terms of monetary policies. Bank of Korea Governor Lee Ju-yeol met with reporters while in Washington for the G20 finance ministers and central bank governors meetings. He said Korea's small, open economy is prone to risks stemming from global financial markets, and that the central bank needs to be careful in going through further rate cuts. He did say, though, that the country does have room for more key rate trims, but the BOK chief emphasized that the country's fiscal side has more room to boost the economy, citing the world's top-tier fiscal health. The Korean Cargo Workers Union will officially begin its general strike from Monday. The union says it's walking off the job to protest a number of government policies, including its decision to abolish regulations on controlling freight supply and demand. They say that without the regulations, the number of freight trucks will increase, lowering freight charges and affecting small and mid-sized operators. The strike is expected to have a significant impact on distribution channels, as a third of the 21,000 container trucks in Korea are registered under the union. This is expected to add to logistical disturbances already caused by the ongoing rail strike. A senior advisor to Republican candidate Donald Trump says the billionaire businessman may use the upcoming televised U.S. presidential debate to raise the sexual history of the former President Bill Clinton. His advisor, Rudy Geelani, a former New York City mayor, was responding to the outcry sparked by Trump's vulgar comments about women that were recorded 11 years ago. He suggests Trump could bring up Hillary Clinton's alleged role in discrediting women who accused her husband, Bill, of sexual abuse. Trump's campaign has been rocked to its core by the release of the 2005 recording in which Trump is heard bragging about groping and trying to have sex with women. Hillary Clinton has been preparing for the debate for the last 5 days, choosing not to make any public appearances in that time. The 90-minute debate, which takes the form of a town meeting, gets underway in St. Louis in just under 4 hours from now. Global revenue from mobile apps is expected to surpass $44.8 billion this year, according to market researcher Newzoo. By 2020, that number will balloon up to more than $80 billion. The company's report adds the Asia-Pacific market accounted for 56% of global revenues this year. That's more than $25 billion and will grow beyond $42.9 billion by 2020. Unlike mature markets such as Korea and Japan, growth is faster in China and Southeast Asia. China, in fact, overtook the U.S. in 2015 in total app revenues. The country's size and untapped potential will likely ensure it stays in the lead. Games used to be the unrivaled leader in shares of app revenue, but an increase in buying of other kinds of apps like finance, lifestyle, and music will see games fall from 82% down to 72% in the said period. Korean scientists have developed a highly advanced bioelectric tongue. It's hoped the artificial tongue could be used to replace human testers in the food development industry. Our Kim Jung-soo has more.
Scientists from Seoul National University have developed a bioelectric tongue that can successfully identify two taste sensations, sweet and savory. What is worth noting is that the tongue is 10,000 times more effective in sensing sweet flavors compared to the human tongue, which means it can potentially be put into good use in developing new food products such as ramen. Experts say the artificial tongue, with its much more delicate sensory capacity, will soon replace human testers.
If we taste our products and feel like a taste is lacking, we find the original ingredient responsible for the flavor, try adding it in, and repeat the process.
The tongue was made through the following steps. Researchers first extracted DNA information from protein-based taste receptors that specifically sense and react to sweet and savory flavors. This DNA information is inserted to a separate cell, which is put on top of a surface of graphene, a carbon-based nanotube which is 100 times more effective than copper in conducting electricity. The graphene can sense changes in the current and produce an electric signal which shows that a taste has been received.
Graphene already has a current flowing, and by calculating the change in current, we know that a certain flavor has been received.
Experts also say the recent tongue is a huge improvement from past attempts.
The tongue made 2 years ago was 100 times more sensitive than the human tongue, but this tongue is 100 times more effective than the past version.
Researchers predict the man-made tongue will soon find commercial application in the artificial spices industry. Kim Jung-soo, Arirang News.
A special festival was held over the weekend in Seoul's Seochogu district, southern Seoul, which is where Arirang Tower is located. The event was packed with a variety of activities and performances, including a fireworks display. Oh Jung-hee reports.
The Seoripul Festival, held in southern Seoul, drew thousands of Seoul residents out into the streets, filling their weekend with joy and excitement. All kinds of activities and performances were on offer for families and friends of all ages.
The 900-meter-long street became a huge sketchbook where kids sat down with colored chalks to draw pictures on the asphalt.
These budding artists turned their stretch of road into a mural of words, shapes, and squiggles.
We found people drawing pictures on the ground by chance and thought it was very interesting, so we decided to participate. This is going to be a special memory for us three.
I drew a bear and a school. It's really fun.
Two of the main draws were the music and the magic shows. The kids were also excited to have their pictures taken with their favorite characters. To celebrate Hangul Day, a parade marched by featuring King Sejong, followed by flags showing the alphabet he invented and the flags of the world.
We will strive to make this festival a global one with the various programs we have for multicultural families and foreigners living in Seochogu.
As part of the Seoripul Festival, last weekend saw the Korea-France Music Festival held in Seoremal Village, Korea's French neighborhood, to celebrate 130 years of ties between Korea and France. Visitors from both countries enjoyed performances by artists from their nations, including the French rock group Les Innocents' very first performance in Korea. Oh Jung-hee, Arirang News.
And that wraps it up for now. Thank you for watching. I'll be back in less than 2 hours for more news updates, so stay tuned and goodbye for now.